Hey guys, I just thought I'd make a little update video because I've gotten several comments, and by several I mean 2 or 3, regarding 2 subjects that have come up in my videos, and I thought that I'd like to respond to or clarify these 2 topics that people have brought up. First of all, while the response to my Spider-Man 3 review has been mostly positive, it seems that some people have taken issue with my telling Activision to kiss my ass. To set the record straight, I do not hate Activision. Activision has made a lot of games that I've played and enjoyed, like Guitar Hero 3 and, well, pretty much every Spider-Man game except for Spider-Man 3. I was just pointing out a disturbing trend with their more recent games. As I mentioned in the Spider-Man 3 review, the Wii version of that game is about half the length of the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 versions, though on reflection I should probably be thankful for that. I understand that the Wii isn't as powerful as the other systems, but there isn't such a massive difference between the Wii and the other consoles that you should be forced to cut more than half the content out of a game. Other titles like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Spider-Man Web of Shadows were identical on each console, only with a downgrade in graphics for the Wii version. Activision did not have to cut half the content out of their game to release it on the Wii, and the fact that they did just screams laziness to me. I know that Activision might not even be responsible for this massive change to Spider-Man 3, but they're the ones with their name on the box. They're the people who I blame. I also brought up the Transformers Dark of the Moon and War for Cybertron games as negative examples of Activision screwing over Wii owners. For those who are not aware, in the Dark of the Moon Wii game, your character never transforms into a bipedal form. You play that entire game stuck in vehicle mode. Not only is that nothing like the other versions of the game, but to make a Transformers game where you never exit vehicle mode is just lazy and inexcusable. I haven't played the Wii version of Dark of the Moon, so I can't make a fair critique on it, but I have no desire to spend money on it knowing the abominations that lie within. As for the Wii port of War for Cybertron, I think that I'll review that game next, or soon. I haven't decided which review I'll do next. I will say that I like the game, but it's also a very far cry from the game that the other systems got. I know it might not be their fault, but Activision is the common factor here. I do not hate Activision, they've just done a few things that have really pissed me off as a gamer. But now to address the main topic that has come up in comments, yes, I have gotten Arkham City to work, and the story of how I got it to work might make a decent rant. And before I start, I'd like to say that the game does run a little faster than you see in this video. I got this footage using Fraps, and Fraps is a piece of crap. So after spending a day playing phone tag with Warner Bros. Games support and realizing that AT&T has been blocking emails from Warner Bros. Games support, my former roommate suggested looking up whether any patches had been released for the game. It turns out that a patch has been released for Arkham City that fixes the problem with the Ra's al Ghul boss fight. Apparently it's a common problem among PCs that aren't strong enough to run the game at its full efficiency. Warner Bros. Games said that the patch should have downloaded automatically when I turned the game on and signed into Windows Live, so now the question is, why didn't the patch install? I mentioned in my original video about Arkham City that the game wouldn't acknowledge that I was signed into Windows Live. I figured out on my own, Microsoft customer service was no help, that the game wanted me to be signed into Live. I thought that being signed into Live referred to Windows Live, but it was in fact referring to Live, which is a service that is offered with Windows Live. Because that makes total sense. So the reason that the patch didn't install on its own was because my Windows Live account wasn't enabled with Live. Fine, whatever. So I signed up for Live on my Windows Live account, and not only did the patch download, but I now have access to the online marketplace and achievements. There was just one slight problem. Signing up for Live had the slight side effect of completely erasing all of the save data that I had for both Arkham City and Arkham Asylum. Upgrading my account also changed my gamer name from Dark Lord Jado to Perforate Worm 2. I played Arkham City for 2 hours, then decided to try and change my name back. When I changed my name, my data was erased again! What the hell is wrong with Windows Live? It's the same account and it can't hold on to my data when I update my account or change the name that the profile uses? That is crap! Having access to the online marketplace means that I was able to purchase the Robin, Nightwing, and Costume DLC packs. You can buy this pack called the Arkham Bundle, which has all 3 of those packs at a discounted price. The DLC pack comes with 7 costumes, plus there's a Batman Incorporated suit that you can download for free. Once you complete the story missions, you get to use the downloadable suits in the story mode. The Year 1, Earth 1 Incorporated, and Dark Knight Returns suits don't look that great or distinctive in my opinion, but the Sinestro Corps suit looks good, and my favorites are the 1970s animated and especially Batman Beyond suits. Check it out, it's like somebody finally made a good Batman Beyond game. You can't use Robin or Nightwing in the game's story modes, but you can use them in the challenge maps. Robin and Nightwing each have unique gadgets that Batman doesn't have, and they have their own metal challenges on the Predator maps. They don't add much to the game, but they add a unique spin on the Predator maps, and it's just plain fun to use them in combat. I think Nightwing might be a little faster than Batman, but mostly it's just fun to watch him tase people with his weapons. It's certainly more fun to play as either of them than it is to play as Catwoman. Speaking of which, now that I've beaten the story, there's a point from my first Arkham City video that I need to bring up again. Catwoman does nothing but detract from the game's story. There are 4 Catwoman sections in the story, one at the start which offsets the tone of the game's intro, one when Batman is captured by the Joker, one when Protocol 10 is activated, and one after the game's ending. The second and third sections happen at critical points in the story. You just want the Catwoman sections to end as quickly as possible so that you can get back to the main story. Oh, and as for the 40 Riddler trophies that Catwoman can get, a lot of them are hidden behind barriers that only Batman can smash through, which is annoying as hell. Not only are the Catwoman sections split up so that you have 2 at the start of the game and 2 at the end with none in the middle, but the Catwoman sections don't even make any sense. You see, throughout the game, Hugo Strange counts down the time remaining until he activates Protocol 10. The second Catwoman section takes place at 8 hours until Protocol 10, and that section ends with Catwoman being captured by Poison Ivy. The third Catwoman section begins with Catwoman convincing Ivy to help her, and Protocol 10 activates during this third section. So supposedly Catwoman and Ivy were arguing for 8 hours. That makes no sense. I won't spoil the game's ending, we have Wikipedia for that, but the game's ending is mind-blowing. I was left speechless during the game's entire credit sequence, and after the game's credits, you take control of Catwoman again, so that you can have another fight with Two-Face. Because that rivalry was just so epic that fans wouldn't be satisfied unless it was resolved. Oh wait, it was resolved at the start of the game. Instead of ending the game on the highest note possible, the game peters out for another half hour and forces you to play the most annoying boss fight in the game. The Two-Face boss fight is essentially a Predator section where you have to take down Two-Face multiple times. There are 5 other enemies in the room, and every time that you take one down, another one immediately spawns in off-screen. It sucks! Catwoman doesn't have as much armor as Batman, and she doesn't have smoke bombs to escape enemies, so getting spotted once during the fight is a death sentence, especially since Two-Face has a rocket launcher. Two-Face also paces back and forth in the center of the museum where you can't sneak up on him without clearing out all of the nearby enemies. Do you see the problem? Arkham City is still an amazing game and the story is really good, but the Catwoman DLC is just friggin' annoying. I was also a little disappointed by the final boss fight, and I'm not talking about Two-Face because he doesn't count, but the boss fight against Mr. Freeze more than makes up for it, especially on the Game Plus mode where you have to find new ways to take him down about 10 times or so, and he jams your detective vision if you use it for too long. That was an intense fight. If it sounds like I'm bashing on the Catwoman sections too much, it's mostly because I don't have any other complaints with this game. Arkham City is magnificent, it's just got some nasty brown spots holding it back. I have given a name to my pain, and it is Catwoman.